Hi there, Evan and I are back again to give you some more home science ideas for anyone who's homeschooling their kids and might be comfortable with reading or math, but uncomfortable with science and unsure what to do at home. The experiment we have for you today is incredibly simple. All you need is egg whites, hot water, and vinegar. And a base if you choose, but in my classroom I usually just stick with an acid today. So what we're going to be talking about is proteins denaturing. Denaturing means that proteins are going to unfold, and an everyday word that we use that means the same as denature is cook or burn. So I'm going to set the experiment up and show you what it is, and then talk a little bit more about how you can approach this topic with your children. So what I have here is hot water. I'm going to put that with the egg white that I separated earlier, and I have some vinegar that I'm going to put with my egg white. So we'll let those sit for a second and see what starts to happen over time. But I'll tell you a little bit about how I approach these topics with my students in my classroom. I teach high school, so usually the way that I approach it is I ask them the question, can we treat an acid burn the same way we treat a heat burn? And then I introduce some kind of global topics or social study topics, and we talk about acid throwing, and then the students pretend to be a doctor, and they have to investigate if they can treat an acid burn the same way as a heat burn. If you're working with younger kids, or if this is a topic you wouldn't be comfortable talking about, another really good way to approach this, and you can make it into a puzzle for kids, is you can say, can you cook something without heating it up? And then eventually they'll find out that they can cook something with an acid. Now, proteins are complex folded molecules made from strings of amino acids, and the way that they have their shape is through hydrogen bonding and other types of bonding too, but we're talking specifically about hydrogen bonding today. Hydrogen bonds are really weak, and they're kind of like little magnets. Positive and negative charges come together because opposite charges attract. So what happens is if you heat up a protein, the heat can actually jiggle the protein so much that those hydrogen bonds separate and the protein unfolds. And if in an acid, what happens is there's hydrogen ions, which are positively charged, and the hydrogen ions are going to go ahead and separate the hydrogen bonding of the protein and do the same thing. So what we'll find is that proteins unfold either way. So if you come back over here, you can start to see this occurring. We have both our heat egg and our acid egg are starting to cook or denature. And from cooking eggs in the past, I'm sure you're very familiar with the fact that a cooked egg white is going to turn white and solid. And I'm not going to make this video last forever, but if we did leave these things for longer, they're going to become even more white and solid as time goes on. So you could always kind of set this experiment up and have your student do an activity and then come back to it. So I'll leave a picture in the comments of what these things look like after a little while, so you can see how much they become white and solid. But the end goal that you're going to see with your kids is that, in fact, an acid can cook a protein. If you're approaching this from a cooking angle instead of from the burn angle, you can go ahead and ask them what kind of foods we eat that are cooked with acids. And some answers are pickles and ceviche. So that's what we have for you today. Here's what you'll need. Super simple experiment. Make sure you check out the comments to see some resources we're going to link to, including my coronavirus contingency packet, which is 10 activities relating to coronavirus. It talks about denaturing proteins in one of them because it mentions how alcohol, acids, and bases are one of the things that can kill coronavirus because of the proteins in its viral shell. So thank you so much. We'll see you soon.